Hello, everyone, and welcome back to RGLGG, where we continue our coverage of the RGL Season 15 Sixes Invite Season. My name's TC Mano. I am joined by the amazing Marmaloo. We have got Dolphin on the cam tonight, and we've got an amazing match for you. Witness Gaming versus Froyotech. Call it Germa versus Star, call it Red versus Blue. This is a matchup that I think people have been eagerly anticipating since they saw that Witness Gaming were coming back to Invite Sixes. It's a kind of a throwback to a couple of seasons ago, more than a couple of seasons ago actually, where it was these two teams fighting for the first place prize, and Witness Gaming finally dethroning Froyotech after their reign of dominance over countless seasons in RGL and even more seasons in ESEA. Witness Gaming were the first in RGL history to be able to take down Froyotech, but since then, a lot has changed. You know, a lot of players have kind of entered the top level of Invite Sixes. The Froyotech that they fought once before is very different to the Froyotech they're going to have to fight tonight, and the map that they're fighting on wasn't even in the map pool back then. CP Sultry is where this battle is going to take place, and last time these guys were playing Marmaloo, this wasn't even a thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is a legacy matchup here on a definitely new map that I feel like we really haven't seen too much, just a little bit, but I'm really excited. There's a lot of big matchups we've seen all the time, like Laz versus Froyo, a lot of High Five versus Froyo. A lot of these guys know each other, but with this new Froyo roster and this almost the same WG roster, I'm curious to see how this new Froyo team stands up against them.
Yeah, I am very curious as well. I mean, one important part of the original WG roster back when they were able to take down Froyotech was Yite, but he has now switched over and come back onto the Froyotech roster, so maybe a little bit of a blood going out over there, but you know, they're all friends at the end of the day, but still, you know, maybe something to stick it to them for Yite specifically. But it is going to be a little bit of a changing field for Witness Gaming to try and adapt to. Even in the pregame, we saw them maybe going over some last minute second adjustments on maybe how to hold second, how to push in onto last from second. You know, it's kind of a unique map, Sultry. It plays similarly mid, can be very just bomb your soldier in. It's got that potential, you know, you bomb off that silo right there. But second to last is where I think a lot of teams have struggled trying to figure out how to break into last. The sniper can be so oppressing to try and peek through from the defender's point of view that it can be, you really need a very good game plan if you want to try and figure out what to do.
Yeah, definitely an interesting couple points. It's a little change up. The mid can be very spammy or very hard commit. And I'm really curious to see, a lot of this map has been infamously known as really hard to break on the stalemate, especially second, last. And you're going to see some, I don't know, some weird strategies, maybe some all-ins, or very slow and methodical play. I think this map is really going to come down to who really comes out that first round, maybe those first couple mids. It's going to really set the tone.
Speaking of the first couple mids, how do you think this is going to go? We about to go live. I want some last quick second predictions from you, Marmaloo.
Ooh, I'm gonna say WG 4-3.
Ooh, all right, WG 4-3. I'm gonna have to be different. I'm gonna say Froyotech, but I'm gonna basically copy your scoreline, but I'm gonna add one. I'm gonna say 5-4. But
okay.
Either way, hopefully, if either one of us are right, we are in for a very great night of TF2. Witness Gaming versus Froyotech here on CP Sultry. This is gonna be the first mid. Habib taking a little bit of damage, is gonna have to wait to get an arrow. Saxophone getting a little bit aggressive over on that plant side area. Gonna be able to take some spam, but he's gonna have to back down. But he is gonna be able to hit a nice rocket onto High Five and clean him up. That wasn't onto him. Just some spam headed his way, able to connect onto High Five, and with that Froyotech win the mid. And that's, I guess, that spammy mid that you were talking about earlier, Marmal.
Yeah, it just turns into who catches too much damage first, but right away Banny kind of pressuring through that frog door, trying to get some spam and some space to the rest of his team. Here comes Sax, and that med is nowhere near. It looks like that the help from Habib's gonna really get him out of there, and they get Laz down, and that's a giant pick. And it's really going to open up the map. As you can see, Yite and Sax immediately pushing the flank, getting behind, and it's going to force WG to go forwards or backwards right away.
Seems like High Five very confident to stand on the point, partially because his team have gotten 2 key picks on Froyotech. Both soldiers are going to be down on Froyo, meaning that's going to be very difficult to try and block these doorways. They're going to attempt to, but a soldier is going to be able to get in. Hits one rocket onto the medic. A really nice serve from Hubada to stay alive. Serves away to safety. Ash is going to go down. A good attempt from him, but at the end of the day, not going to be able to get the coveted pick onto the medic. So Froyotech going to be able to hold on to mid and have another opportunity at trying to push in onto second.
Yeah, and like I said, there's another soldier pick here, so they should be able to work with it. Banny really pressuring that broad door, and the flank coming in from Froyo trying to shove out Laz. And they do end up doing it. Banny and the rest of Froyo taking a lot of ground, but Banny is going to die for it, trying to stabilize a nice rebomb from Laz. It's going to be tough for Froyo to really stay in and sustain this fight. Laz on the flank, actually, he's going to be getting in. I don't know if they know. Both soldiers trying to get in. Damage on Habib. So much, but not enough.
That is incredibly fortunate for Froyotech that Habib lived there, because if Habib dies, there's no stickies, there's so much less spam that Witness Gaming would have to worry about, that they'd be able to get through choke a lot easier. But unless I'm lagging out, I think we do have a pause out on the field. It is
nice and early. I'm assuming it's a technical, unless someone's really shook right now, which technicals are never fun. That could mean a lot of time or very little amount of time. Who knows?
Yeah, hopefully it's something as simple as someone accidentally unplugged their mouse from their computer, and they're able to just quickly replug it in. But considering how long it's already gone on for, it may not be something as simple as a fix. Maybe they're searching for a different mouse, you know what I mean? They're searching their house for it. So hopefully it's something as quick as that. But I guess it should be noted that, you know, if you haven't been playing for a while, and I don't know if when Witness Gaming were playing that we had the quote-unquote Banny rule set, you know, the kind of modified 30-minute continuous overtime rule set. I don't know if they had that specifically when they last played, but if not, they will have to adapt to just trying to take pauses where they can. They can't rely on halftime to really kind of iron things out. If things are going wrong, you have to be confident enough to just stop the game, you know, talk to your team, figure out what's going on. And, you know, if that does mean you do it after the very first round, then hey, go for it. You know, it's better to get on top of those issues early sometimes, but it might end up being a tech pause, and hopefully nothing too serious.
I think if I recall correctly, WG kind of faded out of existence as soon as the config started coming in. So, and a lot of these players have been playing a lot, so they're familiar with it now, and hopefully we can get this resolved somewhat quickly. Who wants a pause within the first 3 minutes? Kind of a very bad time to have. But I'm curious to see how teams opt to break this stalemate. A lot of times it just turns really slow into one-mans, but I really like what Froyo's doing, where they take the space and then they dive forward with their demo and try and take as much ground as possible. But what happened last time is they just took too much damage, and it's kind of tough to push into a demo who's just holding S. But we're back in the game right now.
Saxophone is going to go in for a fadeaway bomb. He tries to get back into Cheese, is not going to be able to live to do so. Yite is also going to fall over by Cheese, and that's going to be 2 down for Froyotech. They were able to pick up Ash, who's bombing over by Choke, but they are still going to be down 1 player comparatively. Brandslim just walks in incredibly aggressively, but the flank from Laz is going to be able to clean up onto Habib. A nice fight from Artis, going to be able to take him down, and now that's going to be Froyotech getting the heck out of mid. Bandy is going to die to try and buy some time for Hubada to stay alive. Hubada is going to be able to meet up with a respawner in Saxophone and Yite, but that's still not going to be enough to try and recontest middle. So Witness Gaming, with some really great, excellent aggression, has been able to get back in onto mid. And seems like they want to take some ground on second, too.
Sax is in for a solo play, and he's going to get out. But yeah, with 3 down on this hold, their spawners are coming in just in time. Habib's got a really good damage out on them, and is actually trying to push out the entirety of WG single-handedly, but may end up getting caught by that lock and load from Artist, and they're trading 2 for 1. It looks like Frey's going to try and get out with their live, but Gungan gets caught as well.
Gungan is... Ooh.
And with 2 scouts down, this should be a free or very easy bomb from Laz, and this is the peak opportunity. They should go. Sax going down too. It is just Habib and Banny. The duo back left up. There's so much damage on everybody, but the cleanup is nowhere to be found, and the cap comes out when no one is looking, and that is a big round to open up with.
Yeah. And that is where the pause happened. So it was maybe a first round, oh no,
Yite,
recalibration attempt.
Yite left, so I think he maybe was fixing something.
Oh, well, Still, I guess even in a tech pause, it does give you an opportunity to try and fix whatever went wrong. And for Froyotech, they were kind of victim to Witness Gaming's aggression. They got onto mid and they kept rolling after that. Let's see if they can have maybe a better initial mid because they lost it previously. Do some great spam from Saxophone. He's sitting very far back right now, maybe just waiting for a call or some type of signal to try and get aggressive. No one's really committing, however. Everyone's just happy to play that spam game that you were talking about. Now Saxophone has to jump back, got a bit of damage headed his way, and now we do see a bomb coming in from the soldiers on Witness Gaming. It seems like they are going to commit. One is going to commit onto Hubba. Hits one nice rocket. Hubba has an amazing surf to stay alive. A little bit disconnected from the rest of their team, but with the player advantage going in the way of Froyotech, that is going to be another one mid for them.
And just very methodical. They're really not biting on anything at all. They're just sitting there, getting good spam out, and not taking too much damage anywhere, not overextending anywhere. But once again, stalemate is here, and Banny is getting very active right away, trying to get on that soldier, and looks like everyone's gonna live, but Sax is in with the big bomb and gets the demo.
Yeah, really great initiation from Sax getting onto Artis. Seems like Witness Gaming still want to try and fight this. They use out the Uber. The counter Uber has been used from Hubba. A little bit better from Froyotech. They're trying to chase these Witness Gaming players. High Five might be caught over, and Ali is trying to stay alive, buy enough time for his medic to live. We do have the rebomb coming in from Last. Does a lot of damage now. The other soldier, as onto Hubba, is going to be able to get the kill, and that is going to be a scrappy GM fight. Really great stuff from the Witness Gaming soldiers. There's still only going to be Gun left fighting Grand Slam. He is going to have the help of Saxophone, and now Saxophone going in super deep, trying to get onto Grand Slam. Now as they heals them up, seems like they want to try and threaten a back cap, but they have to worry about the respawners. Last going to be able to take down Saxophone. Gungan's still alive, finally gonna die to Artis, and that was a very scrappy fight, but at the end of the day, Witness Gaming coming out the victors.
Grand Slam doing really well on this flank scout roll, coming in the flank, getting 2 kills, and just living. And the rest of Froyo really getting pressured out. Habib's trying to leave a little late. It takes a lot of damage, but is going to escape. But 40% add on the side of WG. This is a very big opportunity for them to try and take 2 with or without the Uber.
Is going to be a very big opportunity, and seeing them be very successful with their aggressive pushes last time. Now we're going to see what they can do with the threat of Uber. They are going to use it in. They haven't found any picks just quite yet. Banny probably soon to fall, however, and Ali is going to do so, but everyone else on Froyotech being wise, being able to escape. I say that there is a man in behind. It is going to be Saxophone. I think they might know about him, as it seems like High Five is kind of looking back, trying to spot out where that roaming soldier on Froyotech is. He's hiding in Cheese now in a 1v1 with 5-5. It doesn't look like he's going to win that, especially with Grand Slam coming to help. So Froyotech, especially with Gungan going down, they are going to have to get back to last and just try and hold things out and try not to force, as a Witness Gaming probably going to try and get this Uber out from Hubba.
And on a last this big, it is very hard to try and hold these doors, especially with that many players down. And so much ground to be taking the lock and load from Artis, getting a kill on the Yite. And the force comes out from Froyotech, and WG may only lose 1 for it. And that is huge with the slight Uber ad. Banny is on Spy, trying to go for a play, and he's got a very, very tight timer to kind of go with here.
Does have a very tight timer. I mean, Witness Gaming probably aren't going to be expecting it. They might expect, you know, some type of blast. Oh my God, he has had to back out almost immediately. I don't think he got spotted out, but there was just no way for him to get in cleanly. And Witness Gaming, they don't know it, but they successfully dealt with the off class. But Yite is going to be on heavy. Artis bombing up to maybe just try and see what Froyotech have in store for them.
Just the pure aura of that soldier just bullied him off Spy, back to spawn. But only 40 or about 30% add from WG, and it's going to be really tough pushing this last. They need to get cap time. They need to get something happening here before this Uber comes in. It's getting very, very close. They end up getting Banny down, but a heavy out on the spawn, and Uber kind of coming in any second now. Sax getting really risky there, but with Uber up, as long as they don't drop Yite, it should be really good, but they're getting enough picks where it looks like it should end up finding a big shot from Sax onto Artis. And Branson here at the last second gets cleaned up, but the main thing here is Skis does get out, and he will not have a big Uber disad for this fight. Actually, very slight ad.
It is going to be slight ad for Witness Gaming. They currently still have player disad, even with the respawners. Brand Slam having to take the far back one. He did get denied. Froyotech, maybe an opportunity to try and peek things, but with it being basically even Ubers, as you said, they're going to be content just to hold up on second. get these defenses going and try and see what Witness Gaming attempt to do to try and break on to their second. We saw Froyotech in this exact same scenario. They were getting aggressive through choke with their demo man. Like you said, this time seems like Witness Gaming trying to do the same thing with Ash. He goes in, he makes a bit of space. Laz, however, is going to die over by Cheese. A little bit of a chase. Ash comes in from behind to trade him out, but he's going to go down. The Uber actually being used from Witness Gaming. Hubba very far back, doesn't have to use just quite yet. Won't have to if they take care of High Five. High Five is going to be able to get out that Uber, and High Five doing a really great job just distracting everyone on
taking the
Witness
3v3.
Gaming. Yeah, they're going to be able to walk in for free. Everyone on Froyotech had to back up. There was no one guarding but Choke. But Branch Slam going to die. Skis goes all the way back to Choke. He is able to stay alive, but with Artist dead, Froyotech win that 3v3 DM fight.
Gungan is Brand Slam's father with that fight. Just a 3-shot on beam and wins the fight entirely. They're going to get mid for free, and it's going to be even Ubers. And now we can see Froyo's going to kind of doing the scenario again, but they're actually trying to go off this player ad. 2 spawners coming in, no demo. Banny immediately sending it through Choke. Both soldiers here in a big flank from Sax. On to Skis, getting some damage everywhere, but not quite anything, but there is so much damage on both teams, and it looks like WG is going to opt to back out. Gungan living with 1 HP.
Very, very aggressive from Froyotech, kind of recognizing that sole player ad that they had, like you said, and were able to get in. Witness Gaming didn't have the chokes locked down enough, and now seems like they want to try and maybe get the force out, see what type of defenses Witness Gaming have. Saxophone coming in for a very big bomb, is going to be able to get a trade out before he dies, but that's just going to allow Yite to run across the point. Does hit some good damage onto Ski. Someone tries to follow up, it's Banny, and he gets the shot. That's going to be a drop for Skis, and now the question is, can Hubba stay alive? He's got Habib to defend him, a very great demo man, but with everyone on Witness Gaming trying to take him down, he's still going to be able to do it. They might be able to capture up second here, but still really great play from Froyotech.
Yeah, Banny off that huge distraction, jumps in, gets a really good rocket on Skis, who did not put himself in the best situation, expecting to push, and Banny gets 2 with that, really discouraging any aggression on the second point. This is a massive ad to push. If this is any time to win a round, it is right now. That's going to be a 70% ad by the time they push, and I am curious to see how they push last. This is a new map, and that means that there's not really a solved way to push last yet. Solved in quotes.
Seems like they want to try and solve it by going through the left side. They use a little bit late, kind of using that board over there for cover. They bomb and they're able to take down the dispenser. A sentry gun, however, still well and alive. They weren't able to clear that one out effectively because of it. They're not really able to capture much
Laz
space.
is behind too.
Ooh, going for a high bomb. Laz is in behind, might be able to get these flank players. No, he goes down to Yite, but Yite gonna go down. High five on, but Chase wrapping around everyone on Froyotech, having to back out of second completely as Witness Gaming flood out of their last, retaking their second point, and seems like not spotting a sentry gun there really cost Froyotech.
Especially with lock and load, that gun being up right there is criminal. You can 2-pipe a gun nowadays, and that gun being up the whole time absolutely shuts down that push. Banny trying to play close in the store, deny. The push through a big trap from Habib on the Brand Slam, and the collapse in on Choke. They're going to get the force. Everyone looks like they may live here from this Uber.
Everyone on Froyotech living. Yite, however, in a little bit of a 1v1 scenario. He does have the help of Beam. High five might be caught out because of it. We do see a bombing soldier come in to try and assist. It is going to be Laz now. Gets on a lot of damage on the Habib. He's so weak, but he's able to stay alive. Just barely. Laz is going to die for that, unfortunately. Habib so close to dying there. Miracle for him to stay alive, and because of it, Froyotech are going to have player advantage. They still have their demo. No soldiers up. A soldier and a scout down on Witness Gaming. Still going to be enough for them to get in.
Well, Ash is out, and he may actually get caught on that. A little too greedy, but his scout in for free on Hubba. Brand Slam just walking through the shutter. And he's going to get a 1v1 on mid if he knows it or not. And this is the revenge for Brand Slam, starting that back cap. With 2 players down from WG, it's going to be a decision to make. Are they going to stay on mid, or are they going to go back? He ends up dying. Laz is in. Does not end up getting anything, but the back cap comes in with Brand Slam winning the 1v1, getting revenge on Gungan. And that is a huge play from Gungan, or Brand Slam, bringing the entire round back and maybe flipping it on its head.
Yeah, everyone on Froyotech is rushing back to try and deal with Gungan. It was very bad for Witness Gaming, like you said, Skis going down there, but Brand Slam's enormous play has been able to buy his team a lot of time. Habib, the only one still on mid, and he's trying to spawn camp the Witness Gaming players who are maybe trying to take advantage of that backhat play from Brand Slam. So effectively able to deny Witness Gaming getting in onto mid, what you'd expect of a top invite demo like Habib, but still Froyotech, they got to get going with this because they Witness Gaming have had the luxury of being able to build in all that chaos.
Yeah, they're going to get through. Laz going in for a force. They do end up getting Habib really weak in the post. This Uber is going to catch Artist out, but nothing else. Laz still behind, trying to get back in the fight. Gets a free bomb onto Hubada, and that is going to probably opt for a push from Froyo, but Banny being very weak may stop with their fearless leader having to go back and get some knockbacks here.
Yeah, Banny having to go back. Seems like everyone else on Froyotech, except for Habib, is playing fairly far back as well. They don't need to worry too much. Witness Gaming only just now making their way into lobby, trying to clear all these doorways and get a successful push out of last. Not trying to use Uber if they don't have to, but they can maybe clean up some of these Froyotech players. They definitely will do so. They do use. Habib still gets a kill on the high five. That is so disastrous for Witness Gaming. They used so early. Habib still manages to drop high five there. That is honestly probably the worst case scenario for Witness Gaming.
Yeah, Artist jumping in, just barely hitting the air pipe on Habib, getting that kill to at least neutralize the player advantage. But a 30% ad from Froyo. They're really stunted any aggression right now with Habib being dead, but they do still have this ad to work with, and I'm curious to see, are they going to pop right through, or are they going to try and milk it through the door? There's a lot of options. It's very tough to get forces on this map if teams take it really slow. So I want to see how they counter, but it looks like Froyo's going straight through that boiler door, getting all this free space, and the rest of WG is just opting to concede to, go to last, even Ubers, see if they can break that.
So now Froyotech have got to try and figure out some way to break Witness Gaming's defenses here. It can be a bit of a difficult one. We've already seen a failed last push from Froyotech. That was with Uber advantage, but even more at even Uber is going to be quite a tricky nut to try and crack, as they're kind of peeking over towards the left side. They're taking a bit of damage, and that's kind of a danger holding over here. You can just get spammed down so easily. It's such a really great place to just concentrate all that spam if you're the defending team. So you do have to be careful how many bodies you put over in that right doorway. Habib can be over there just trying to see if he can spam down anyone with Brand Slam now coming up on the sentry gun, just trying to figure out the most optimal place to put it. It can be a real nuisance if it denies that lower area. Saxophone, however, getting in before the gun is built, has an opportunity. Yite runs in as well to get onto Skis. Not enough damage at all. Skis going to be able to stay alive, and that is going to be two-player ad for Witness Gaming to try and send their counter.
They're going to walk in through this alley, taking a lot of space, but the clock is ticking. There's not much time. Laz making a lot of room, but nothing really coming of that sack. They're going to reset. They're saying, you cannot break our last hold. Try again. And so far, we've proved wrong.
Yeah, they are challenging Froyotech. I am surprised that they took Brand Slam off of Engineer if they weren't going to really go for something super aggressive, but at the end of the day, it's probably no harm, no foul for Witness Gaming as he builds that sentry gun up again. Froyotech still have to try and figure out some way to deal with it and get in onto Skis, ideally, or some important player, as they are going to send in Saxophone. He goes in for a high bomb, gets some damage. That's going to be the force. Yite running in as well. Really great coordination from Saxophone. It's Yite. They're also able to pick up Artists. Disaster for Witness Gaming. Froyotech able to get out, make sure Hubada is alive. They are going to have full 100% Uber ad to push in. We have seen them do this before. It didn't work out well, but if you keep giving them opportunities, eventually, Marmaroot, they're going to be able to convert with it.
Yeah, Brand Slam and the rest of WG doing a really bad job using their mounts. Brand Slam picked up the gun, and Skis stood in a spot that was very bombable without the assistance of a gun. And they get a very free force along with an Artist pick, really denying any push out at all. But 30% ad coming in from Froyotech, and once again, the clock is ticking. They got to make something happen. Will they find the sentry gun?
They do. They are able to find the sentry gun, but can they find anything else? No one dying on Witness Gaming just quite yet. Laz down fairly weak, but he's able to catch a bow and stay alive. It gets into force spawn. That buys enough time for Witness Gaming to get their own Uber, and now it's Froyotech with a disaster. Both their soldiers are going to fall. The late game heavy coming out from Brand Slam working wonders, and seems like Witness Gaming are finally confident enough to try and push out of their own. Last is going to be high five, lean for charge, takes a lot of damage, but the soldiers going to be bombing in, making a lot of space. Last dies because of it. Ash now jumping back to try and stay alive. Artist might be caught out here, is going to die. Ash might as well. He's disconnected from the rest of his team. He is going to go down. Bandy goes down as well, but that's going to be all projectile players down for Witness Gaming. It's only going to be high five and skis on last as Brand Slam desperately tries to get back in place. So much time onto the point, they're not able to defend it. And that is going to be the first round for Froyotech. You know, there's a saying, if you can't push last, bait them on this failed second push and then push them that way.
Greater words have not been said, you know? A lot of times it's way easier to make mistakes pushing out of last than standing there waiting for the other team to do something. But I am curious, are either of the teams going to end up going aggressive, or are they both going to say, we spam better? Let's spam better. I don't know what else to say, but be very fast, a lot of damage on the door right away. But he is also taking a lot of damage in return. The aggression on the side of Froyo, they're taking way more ground. Bandy and Sax doing a great job, making space for the rest of their team. And WG's just in a really awkward spot. Skis in the corner, and there's just rockets flying everywhere. WG's not a great spot, but they do end up connecting a lock and load with Sax. And if they take enough time, they're going to be able to get this mid. Very free. Bandy almost getting picked, but that's only going to be one down. An opportunity for WG to try to work off that.
It is now an opportunity. I think that's the first mid that they've won. We've only had two. This is the third one, but still a good change up for them, and really came down to Artist getting that pick, denying the spam potential for Froyotech. Now, we are going to see Last kind of pressure that frog area, maybe see if he can get some cheeky pick onto someone standing onto the point, but now Witness Gaming still trying to take the space. Last going in fairly deep through choke, high five, making a lot of space as well, and he actually made Saxophone into jumping up above him. A nice pipe from Artist going to be able to take him down. Now with player advantage, just opens things up dramatically for Witness Gaming. Artist, however, is going to fall. Some really nice stickies from Habib taking him down. Brand Slam looks like he maybe want to try to take the Uber, and very aggressively there is going to go down as well. And Froyotech, they are going to have the player advantage. Habib now making his way in through choke.
Yeah, with the popularity of this lock and load, it's really making Demo more into a pick class in a lot of these scenarios. With Froyo taking a lot of ground, Ash trying to bomb in, gets so much damage, and the Uber flash on him. Gungan's down, there's no scouts to get out, and Banny is going to get caught here. This could be a chase onto Froyo. Ash is trying to get in. They end up just kind of calling it. Take two, reset.
Is going to be a reset. Witness Gaming, however, they do still have player ad. Maybe they want to try and go for some type of sack right now while Froyotech aren't immediately in their defensive positions. Ash does go in. He gets a trade out for Saxophone. Bandy doing a lot of damage over on the right side, but Witness Gaming have been able to find two picks. Both soldiers on Froyotech have gone down, but with Artist going down, that's not something that they're going to be too confident about, so they're going to back up onto second. They are going to get Ash fairly soon, so they're probably not at risk of Froyotech being very aggressive on them, but they are going to have to go back, reset, and settle into a proper even Uber scenario.
And Laz peeking to see if there's a gun, and the gun is currently being built. For those who have not played sixes and all that much, but the main thing that is stopping Sax from coming in a lot of times is this sentry gun. So a lot of what last pushes turn into is, can we find the gun? Can we take it out? And then we can sack. Or you just give up and run sniper and say, all right, sniper man, you got it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and there are a lot of very confident, really good snipers on Witness Gaming. Brand Slam, as well as High Five. I mean, even Ash, you know, even if you haven't seen him in a while, he also played Scout, I guess maybe most famously on Froyotech I-55 a while ago, but that's not to say he can't hold a sniper rifle well if they so choose to do so. I'm very interested on this Artist method. They've been bombing him up on this left side fairly often, maybe to try and see if we can get some type of super secret fancy spam angle onto a sentry gun, or maybe it's just a very easy way of getting information.
Oh, Brand Slam Dino Trap, Laz is in. But yeah, that bomb there, A, gets a lot of vision, and if they put the gun in a spot, it can get spammed. The lock and load allows you to two-pipe a gun now, which on the way down, he can hit two pipes on the gun and take it out right away, which is a little hard to kind of put a gun where it still has effectiveness and will not be caught by something like that bomb right there. Skis catching a pipe, a lot of damage, and great job from Froyo, just absolutely bullying them out with all the spam and damage in the world. But Froyo's now going to get out of last and back onto 2. Not a great situation still, but WG's got to prove they can break the stalemate as well.
Yeah, if WG still have to try and figure out what to do with this even Uber scenario that they find themselves in. Seems like they had 3 over in Cheese there to maybe try and get aggressive, but they think better of it. They rotate back over towards Choke. Last time, it was kind of a Soldier's Laz and Ash kind of making space, allowing the rest of the team to get in and cause some chaos for them. So it's going to be on Froyotech to just trying to deny those soldiers, make sure no one gets in for free, no one gets any free space whatsoever, as Brand Slam is over by Cheese, trying to shoot these stickies, maybe allow Ash to go in for some type of bomb. He's thinking about it, he's spamming, maybe just trying to knock these scouts off a high ground, making things easier for his soldier buddy Laz to fly in. But for the moment, Witness Gaming still trying to bomb in.
Yeah, Laz trying to recommit on the flank. Brand Slam dying, Laz dying, and they do not connect any damage. Artist taking so much. This should be free choke for Froyo, and they are taking it entirely. Both soldiers taking a lot of space. And once again, weird situation for WG. Are they going to pop in, or are they going to run in? High Five has always been known to pop in. Trying to clean up these players, and this Uber gets nothing. They run into Banny, get the pick at least, but it's not a great Uber from the side of WG.
It is not a great Uber, and there still is a Froyotech player in behind. It is going to be Saxophone. I think they do know about him, as Witness Gaming seems like they want to try and go back and spot him out. They haven't been able to do so. Now in a little bit of a 1v1, he gets deleted by Artist. Those lock and load pipes are very hard to dodge just due to how quick they move, but Froyotech not going to be too upset by that. They still do have Uber ad, however, and they want to take it. They are going to have to go before Saxophone can come back with them.
Yeah, lock and load is very scary to fight. You can't really react to it. Laz on the flank gets caught by 2 members of Froyo, and snuffing him out will buy them that second point. And once again, well, 20% ad. If they take it, they're psychopaths. But we're going to probably see a stalemate here. And once again, how are they going to break it? That is the big question that I've seen watching and playing this map very briefly, is these stalemates can be killing.
Yeah, these stalemates really can be. I mean, we've already seen some failed last push attempts from both teams, Witness and Froyotech. It can be just such a hard last to push, and you really kind of need to do everything like, I guess, bombing your demo over on that alley area to just try and get all the vision possible. As now they rotate over towards the right side. Maybe Habib has an angle on the sentry gun, very kind of on the nose from Brand Slam, picking it up and moving it so Habib can't get any easy spam. Now we do see a soldier trying to bomb in, does actually get some good damage out onto Skis. Somehow he stays alive, and he doesn't use balls of steel from Skis there, because they surprisingly Froyotech got so much damage, but they lose 3 because of it.
They're playing in a funny spot here. Habib dying too. Banny's going to go opt for a back cap cheese play here. Has that Uber, going to push Brand Slam. It's going to force everybody on WG to back up. This could turn into a last cap, but most likely it's going to buy, and he drops everyone. Hubba with a giant misstep, and that play goes absolutely over.
Oh.
But it may end up getting caught here. It has gone. Couldn't go worse, to be honest.
Oh, that is rough. The vision was there. We all saw the vision. They were so close to executing it. Even worse for Froyotech, the fact that Skis didn't even use. He didn't get forced. He didn't drop. He didn't even use. So that's still going to be 100% Uber advantage for Witness Gaming as they make their way in onto mid. Everyone on Froyotech going to have to back up. There is someone lurking in the forwards. It is going to be Banny. There's some good damage out onto Ash, but he's not going to be able to find the kill. Might find a kill onto Laz with his respawners coming in. Habib is going to die, however, over by Choke. Witness Gaming, they still have the Uber. They are going to use aggressively through Choke, trying to chase in onto Hubba. Looks like he is going to be able to stay alive. High Five is still going for it. He is so aggressive here. Is going to be able to get the kill, but he leads his medic into death because of it. Hubba is going to be able to stay alive, and Witness Gaming, they did get a lot of ground at the expense of Uber advantage.
And great kill from Banny onto Skis, really giving them a leg up here to push out of last, but as we all know, pushing it at last is a big risk to take, but with a 50 ad, it's kind of hard to say no to. The game is 1-1, and there is 2 minutes left. So I don't think either of our predictions are even near touching at all. But, you know, we'll go with who wins. but try to peek all the doors, get some spam out, and they're doing a great job spamming the shutter, spamming the bats, kind of urging WG to back off. And the Uber is now up. Habib swinging all the way through bats, and they're taking a lot of ground. No one on WG is in the position to fight. They're going to lose second just like that.
Yeah, really great push out from Froyotech there, like you said, not losing anyone, not having to use Uber. They do still have Uber advantage if they wanted to go for it, but at this point, I think they have decided to play it safe, stay on second, let it even out into another even Uber scenario. And once again, it's going to be on Witness Gaming to try and make something happen here, whether that's their soldiers or kind of sending in a scout like Branch Slam to just run at someone and hit the shots. You know he's capable of it. It's just a question of whether Froyotech are going to not be looking at that doorway at the correct time, allowing Branch Slam to get in and give him that opportunity. For the moment, however, Witness Gaming just going to be looking at all the options, trying to assess what's the best thing to do, is as we only a minute left until that continuous overtime, like you said, and maybe we should have known better. I think Sultry has historically almost always been an extremely slow map.
Oh yeah, no one's winning rounds on this map. It is a tough game. It's tough enough to crack on a lot of these points, like we've seen and said. But once again, WG in the driver's seat. 3 minutes left on the round timer. They got to make something happen here. Sack's really trying to stuff that door. And I'm curious to see how WG opts to change this. Are they going to go for that boiler push, try and get a flank, try to collapse on someone there, or just send a 1 or 2 man just right away and resetting with maybe a sniper?
All right, I feel good.
Yeah, we did talk about the Witness Gaming snipers previously. Definitely an option as they do get a bit aggressive over by Choke. It is going to be Artist and High Five trying to peek things for them. We do have a soldier. It looks like he's waddling in from Frog, not making his presence known, as someone else gets in behind. It is going to be Laz. Branch Slam, however, is going to die trying to assist Laz in doing that very same thing. We are now in continuous overtime, so the next person to capture up last is going to be the winner. Banny going to be able to take care of Laz in the backlines, and now with a 2-player advantage, Froyotech looks like they want to at least pressure in onto mid.
They're trying to bust through that choke door. They're going to get in. Sax is in for free on the side as well. WG looking like they really want to take this Uber in. Sax forcing it out, and Hubada just on the verge. Gungan is just barely getting out, and this Uber once again has been baited out. WG a little too predictable with these Uber pops on disad positions there.
Because of it, Froyotech are going to have 100% to push in with. They can wait for their respawning soldier if they want to, but seems like they're going to start pressuring regardless as they start to make their way in through Choke just a little bit. It is going to be Banny leading the charge, trying to give him team a little bit of space so they don't have to instantly pop. A bombing soldier is going to come in, is going to be able to get the force out, but however, Froyotech are going to get skis and High Five, so the force definitely worth it if you're Froyotech. They're able to get in onto the point. Everyone else on Witness Gaming backing the heck up. I doubt there's going to be any resistance on second. A sticky trap coming out from Artisan has got to hit a lot of people if they want any chance at holding on to the second point, but Froyotech recognize it immediately. They get in through Frog, avoiding the sticky trap completely, and now Witness Gaming, they have got to hold this last at Uber Disad if they want to walk away the victors tonight.
And the skis dying there is just an absolute heartbreaker. They were in a good spot, and now they're on their own last with a 30-40% disad. And now we can really see, can teams push last with Uber ad? And once again, it's not a great Uber ad. WG is going to have an Uber to lean back on if they can stall for long enough. Uber coming in through dungeon, trying to catch up the player. This gun getting caught, and Ash getting caught as well. 80% from skis, and just look at that Uber tick up while Froyo has to make something happen. Big bomb from Banny, and they get the cap time. High Five doing a great job stalling. 95% from Froyo with the cap, and Froyo with the map win.
Yeah, that is going to be Froyotech walking it away 2-1. Kind of securing or continuing their undefeated season for the moment. I think that makes them 4-0, and Witness Gaming now 5-1. So yeah, still really great scoreline from both these guys, as you would expect. Definitely in the top 3 for favorites to make it to LAN, which is what all of these guys are playing for. We didn't really get a lot of chance to speak about it before we went live, but you know, it's going to be very exciting to see them over on land and see this matchup continue. But for Witness Gaming, interesting we didn't really have a chance to speak about it in the beginning as well, but they were the ones who picked this map, considering, they haven't played it as a team. It wasn't in the map pool when they were last playing TF2 together. So I wonder if this is maybe just hey, let's see where we stand on this map. Let's try and figure this one out. So when it comes time for playoffs, we're not kind of bum rushed by it.
Yeah, just playing a very slow style, and it does kind of fit a lot of the players on WG. But Froyo doing a great job kind of just sustaining, taking the advantage they can, and really getting a good win out here. And I think the main thing to note, well, two things, is both these teams, this match doesn't have that big of an effect on their season. Maybe a little bit of seeding, but in CF2, a lot of times seeding isn't the most important thing. As long as you're not the 4th seed, you get a decent matchup. But this is a map that is wide open, I think. If a team can figure out really how to work these stalemates or work these mids and last pushes well, they're going to take it on this map. Even with this being such a great win from Froyo, any team, if they really can figure it out, will have a very good chance on a new map like this.
And we do have someone from the winning... We have a couple people, actually, from the winning team. Bani and Habib from Froyotech are joining us for some post-game interviews. First of all, congratulations on the win versus Witness Gaming. Were you guys expecting them to pick that map? They haven't been around in TF2 for a while, their first season back, and it's a newer map. When they last played, Sultry wasn't in the map pool. So were you expecting that for them, or were you maybe expecting something a bit more standard like Process or Sunshine?
Yeah, so thanks, it's GG. Was I surprised by the map pick? No, honestly. I think that, well, for one, we did ban Process, so it wasn't an option this game. I think if we had left it in, it probably would have been their pick. And I think Sultry is kind of like, Process's stepbrother or something. It's kind of similar, but a little different kind of thing. So I'm not surprised by it. I think they generally like maps that are a little more open. I think that's the vibe I'm getting. I mean, if you look at their bans, they banned Gully, Metal, and Granary. So it's they wanted to get rid of the choke maps. They want the open maps. That's their style. I think they just thrive on those kinds of maps because their soldiers like the high bombs. Their scouts like to see everything, that kind of thing.
Yeah, with this map being new to the season, how's everyone feeling about Sultry? Good map, bad map, anything you like, dislike? Just open to the floor.
I really like the map.
I think it's aight.
That is
I like it a
fuego.
lot as well.
That makes me wanna.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah? You wanna try that as well?
Honestly, I don't know if I can elaborate. I can't elaborate on that, but just it's a sound, it's a frequency. You feel me?
I see. But with the first match against such a historic kind of matchup here, how you guys feeling getting that win? First time seeing them in years now?
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome to see them in the season. Obviously they're a good team and good players, veteran players. So even though they haven't, been in every season for the last year or two, I think they shook off the rust pretty quickly. Especially Laz, just came right back into it, was playing just as well as always, I think. So it was exciting. It's good to have some good teams, but especially I appreciate that they have a different play style than other teams. So it's just unique playing against them, and it's fun. And we've been scrimming them a bit, so we're not completely unprepared. So I think we ended up just playing to the strat that we prepared, kind of the playstyle we prepared, the mindset, etc., and it ended up working out. So that's it.
Well, I have a question for our newbie here, Sax. Coming up, getting closer and closer to this land. How are you feeling leading up to this with your new squad here? At least the new Froyo team.
So excited. It's gonna be a good one. The last land I went to was kind of troll. So to actually go to a land that it was the old Philly, back in, was it 2022, I think?
Oh, you were there?
Yeah.
How do we not
You were
meet?
16 back then, huh?
Yeah.
I think I'd still be 18. But it was with just some friends. It wasn't a super serious thing. But yeah,
Did we meet?
I don't think so. I think I saw you guys on stage, but that was about it.
We too nervous?
Yeah, something like that. Dude, it was in the middle of finals. I'm not even kidding. The weekend was in the middle of my finals, so I went,
Oh, that sucks.
did my LAN or whatever, and then I didn't even get to like say goodbye. I just immediately left.
That sucks.
But yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be a really good season. So, LAN's gonna be even better.
Mm-hmm.
I think this win definitely a nice way to kind of start off the season. Kind of some new players on the roster, and just a question open the rest of the team. How are we feeling about the new pickup here? That new Yite pickup.
He's the goddamn
Feeling
goat.
good about it.
Yeah, he is good.
Mhm.
He never
He
left
is the
TBH.
goddamn goat.
We just gotta, iron out a lot of things, or not a lot of things, but a couple things, but like, and then we'll have what we need.
Yeah, I think that Yite is, a talented player. He obviously has a lot of experience. I think Sultry is a map that he actually is pretty unfamiliar with. So he was saying that he, felt a little uncomfortable on the map. Maybe needs a little more time to refine his strats, but I think that he will be in top shape come LAN time.
I'm looking forward to that. Any last words just to give to the rest of Invite as we get closer and closer to playoffs and LAN itself?
Words for other invite teams?
Oh yeah. Any warning?
I would say, don't
Suck.
don't
Yep.
die. Don't die as a team. Give it your all. See every match through as a learning opportunity, an opportunity to improve and to test yourself. And if you're playing an invite, I hope that you're aspiring to be the best you can and to compete at LAN. And we'll see you there.
Otherwise, TC Mono, you got any last questions here?
No, just congratulations again, guys, for your dub over Witness Gaming. And I guess we can go down the row. Any shout outs? Start from the top with you, Banny. Any shout outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, sure. GG to WG. Well played to my team, everyone. Good job just staying focused and adapting as needed. GG to, thank you guys for casting, covering, and for people tuning in. Apologies that the season is kind of scuffed at the moment. We haven't played many matches just due to people being on vacation, but we will hopefully continue to put on good matches for you guys all season. Would like to give a big thanks to our team sponsor, which is manco.store. So anyone who's looking to do some TF2 trading, buying, selling, get some swag, Habib might need some, head over to manco.store. And yeah, that's about it.
Habib,
Yo, wait, what was I saying?
shout out. What
Oh,
do you
yeah.
got?
Shout outs to you guys making the cast happen. Shout outs to the viewers. Shout out to WG, good game. Shout out to Skis. Oh wait, he's on WG. Shout outs to yo, I kind of forgot still, but GG's.
All right, Zach.
Yeah, shout out to WG. It was a fun game. Shout out to Milky, shout out to Thumbo Boys, and shout out to Pippi.
TC.
Shout outs to y'all for winning, first off, and also shout outs for Witness Gaming for putting on a really great show. Shout outs to Dolphin for all the production stuff that he does behind the scenes, and shout outs to the RGL merch. You can get that, have to throw that shout out in there. And shout outs to you, Marmalou, for being an amazing co-caster. You are the GOAT.
Thank you. But yeah, shout outs to the viewers as usual. Shout out to everyone who is going to LAN, even if you're not playing. Recommend going, it's a good time. Shout out to my girlfriend, and shout out to all the teams that invite this season.
Wait, shout out to my girlfriend too. What the fuck? I forgot.
Go,
Fuck
go,
that.
go! Whoa!
Behind every great man is a great woman.
That's facts. Otherwise, good night, everyone. I'm excited to see the rest of y'all for the rest of the season leading up to LAN.
Yep. See you later, stream.